Tell me what you see in me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Empress Imani. I want to talk to you guys about my locks and things to know before getting lock extensions. So I do have my little notebook here. I wrote down a couple things. As I talk to you guys, I'm also going to try and think about some other things as well that I can add, but we're just gonna get right into the video. But before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you love lock videos, beauty, fashion, and vlogs, because I do all that here. First thing to know before getting lock extensions, to do some research on where you're buying them from. They do have some on Amazon. I personally wouldn't recommend getting them off of Amazon because I feel like they could be coming from anywhere and you don't really know the source. So I recommend places like Etsy. That's where I bought my lock extensions from. So Etsy is probably one of the best places, in my opinion, to find people that sell lock extensions. I feel like it's more legit. You're buying it from the source most of the time, like from the person that's making them, and you know for sure that it's human hair and that they're handmade. So I found my seller through Alyssa Ashley. It's not the exact seller that Alyssa Ashley had. I just clicked the link under her video because if you don't know, she does have lock extensions now. She bought hers from Etsy as well, but it's a different person. It's a different seller. So when I went to her link, I just kept scrolling down because her locks, they're definitely not my hair texture, so I wasn't confident in getting that. Yeah, I ended up just scrolling down a little bit and I found my carrier, which I'll put her name like somewhere on the screen and in the link below if you guys are ever interested in getting locks, because I am so happy with my locks. I recommend to just do some research on who you're buying them from because you want to make sure that you're getting some good lock. I've seen a lot of people getting lock extensions that were really itchy. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is slippage. So I would recommend to do not wash your hair. Like once you get them installed, do not wash your hair for, if you can, at least 4 weeks, because you want to give your hair some time to lock with a lock extension. If you wet your hair too soon, they could slip a lot sooner. And I do feel like even now, I've had my lock extensions for, I believe, like 4 or 5 months. I haven't gotten slippage in a while, but like towards the middle, I've gotten like 2 locks that slipped really, really bad, and I had to like reattach to them. And a couple others did slip a little bit, but it wasn't too bad, but I still, you know, kind of like fixed it with my crochet hook. I installed my lock extensions myself, but if you're not confident enough to do that, definitely find a good loctician, but also do some research on your loctician, because I've heard some horror stories, you know, and that's why I didn't want to go to a loctician, because one is my hair. I don't really trust a lot of people with my hair, and they can just be rough with your hair. Like they cannot really know how to install lock extensions very well, so you could waste your money. But if you go to somebody who like really specializes in locks or lock extensions particularly, then that would be really great. Lock to part ratio. Now, if you do find a loctician, they should already know what that is. They should already understand how to match your hair parts to the locks that you have. If you go to a loctician, it's not something that you need to worry about. If you're styling your own hair, this is very, very important, because when your hair grows out with the lock extensions, you want your natural hair to match the lock. I did a very good job with my hair, but there were a couple locks that I had to combine because I made the lock part from my hair way too small according to the lock size. So that's definitely something that is very, very important if you are trying to install your own hair. If you go to a loctician, they should know like whether you get like a size like this is 1.6 centimeters. You can have like locks that are thicker or whatever the case is, but just make sure your parts match the size of the lock. So the next thing that you should look out for or just be aware of is that depending on the person that you bought your locks from, the locks might be a little stiff and like hard at first, which could definitely contribute to the itchiness. Mine, bueno. Like when I got them, when I took them out of the bag, they were floppy already. Like I didn't have to do much with them for them to be flexible. They came out the bag very flexible, very loose feeling. But be aware, because there are people that have said that they bought lock extensions and they're really stiff and hard and they just felt uncomfortable, or they're itching, it was itching their scalp. I would recommend to make sure you boil them first, even if you want, boil them with conditioner in the water as well. Use that silicone conditioner because that will definitely get your hair soft. That silicone conditioner is amazing. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the style of your locks. So if you do decide to get the curly end locks, just know that they do not stay curly at all. Like you can add conditioner on the ends, but they don't last long, especially if you've got long locks. Your hair is constantly like rubbing on your clothes or your back or whatever, and the curly ends just get knotted. So in my opinion, it's pointless, or like it's gonna be more maintenance for you. You're gonna have to keep combing them out, keep conditioning it. If you don't mind doing that, then get the curly locks, but I am warning you that they are gonna end up getting stiff. And yeah, so I wouldn't have bought the curly end locks if I knew that, because it was just pointless. I ended up cutting all of them off, as you can see, but I like them better like this anyway, so it was not a big deal. So another thing to keep in mind, your hair will get used to the weight of the lock extensions. So if you get short lock extensions, you won't have to worry about that too much. But if you get long lock extensions and your natural hair, you know, first of all, especially if your natural hair wasn't locked, because having your hair locked it adds a little bit more weight and density than just having, you know, free hair. So at first it's gonna feel a little uncomfortable, you know, it's gonna feel weird, but your hair is gonna get used to the weight and your hair is gonna end up locking up with the lock extension. So it's not something to worry about too much. But honestly, for me, I have like a sensitive scalp still. I have seborrheic dermatitis, so once that kind of broke out for me, my scalp just got really sensitive. So I did cut the locks a little bit because like they were about like 16 inches when I first got them, and I cut them like to like shoulder length. They are growing now, so like they've gotten a little longer, but like the weight doesn't bother me anymore, because like I feel like my hair just kind of got used to it over time, which is what I thought. But yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind. Also, that might be different for everybody, because it could just have been me, because I have a very sensitive scalp. So the weight, I did like realize that it was kind of heavy for me at first. Like when I would wet my hair, then it would get like kind of heavy, and I felt like the tension. It wasn't terrible, but it still made me feel like a little uncomfortable, because I want my hair to get used to it, you know. But yeah, that might not be for everybody, but if you are sensitive, if you have a sensitive scalp, that is something to keep in mind. Another thing that we're going to talk about, I did kind of briefly mention this earlier, but make sure your lock extensions match your hair texture. I feel like that's kind of like an obvious thing, but I feel like not really for some people. Like some people, especially when you're trying to find like locks with the curly ends, normally those locks that they have, they're gonna look more like loose hair. So if you have very coarse 4C hair, I wouldn't recommend getting the curly end locks, because most of them look like that loose hair texture. But I don't know, because I still feel like you can buy locks that are kind of coarse looking, like, you know, like this hair, and it still have the curly ends. But like I said, they didn't really stay curly like that. They kind of ended up just knotting up, and you'd have to upkeep it. You have to keep combing them out and whatnot. But yeah, just make sure that the locks that you get match your hair texture, because once your hair grows out, you're gonna see the difference, and that's not gonna be cute. I'm telling you right now. It's not gonna be cute. So yeah, that's it for this video. That's all the tips that I have right now. If I do end up thinking about more, if there's anything else that I missed, I will make a follow-up video for you guys. I also wanted to do like a lock update because I think the last one I did has been like, I don't know, the last one wasn't too long ago, so we'll see. But I might do another lock update video for you guys. But honestly, you guys will love your locks because I'm in love with my locks. I'm in love with myself. Like, these locks, literally, they're freaking amazing. I love locks. Like, that's all I can say. You're gonna have fun with them. They are very, very versatile. Yeah, they're just fun. And this was like the best decision I've ever made, the best investment, because girl, they are expensive. And that's another thing that you guys need to be aware of. Locks are very expensive. Whether you get lock extensions or you just lock up yourself and you want somebody to do your hair, because paying somebody to do your hair is not cheap. So that is something that you really need to be aware of before you get locks. That's why I do my own hair, because I was just always that girl to like try and do my own hair because I just did not like spending that much money on my hair, especially because I know I can do it. If I can do it myself, then I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna spend money for somebody else to do it unless it's like a really intricate hairstyle that I just can't do as good. Then of course it makes sense, you know, I'll spend my coins. But yeah, I'd rather do my own hair. I do my own hair. I'm gonna be doing more lock hairstyles too for you guys because I'm gonna try out more lock hairstyles. So that's gonna be incorporated more on this channel, and I can't wait. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I love you guys. Stay tuned. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up for me. It will really help me out. Comment any questions that you have as well, because I definitely will respond to them and let you guys know the tea or whatever it is that you want to know. So yeah, check the link out in the description box if you are interested in purchasing lock extensions from my seller. You will not be disappointed. I'm obsessed with these locks, and yeah, so I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.